Another thing that I want to talk about that I've never told anyone, that I'm exposing right now. I've managed to meet some big people who have money. When I was talking to him, he gave me 2,000 US dollars. If you are a person who wants to do something or who wants to follow their dreams and you're not doing what you want because you are shy, because you're afraid that people will laugh at you, it means you're not living your own life, you're living people's lives. I was not bright in school. Like, I was really average. Even I was below average because I barely remember my grade 7 results. Probably I was close to 29 units when I was 29 units, 27, 29 units, if I'm not mistaken, when I was in grade 7. That was a bad result. But also at the same time, that was a wake-up call for me to start being serious as a person. But I was young, I was very naive, I did not know life. As I went to Form 1, I started waking up. Like, if I don't start being serious about my life, about my studies, I'm tossed and my life is ruined. But it was too late for me to start being serious in some subjects, including maths. I started to be serious in other subjects, but it was very difficult for me to catch up in math. But when I was Form 2, Form 3, I was really serious. Form 4, I wrote my exams and I came out with 4 subjects. And the 4th subject is a practical. And other people, when they are counting subjects, they barely count practical, which means I had 3 subjects. But for me, I was saying I had 4 subjects. I was really happy that I came out with 4 subjects when I wrote my Form 4s in 2015. I was really excited, the reason being that I had put so much effort to reach that level. And then I started looking for A-level places. It was really difficult for me to find A-level places. The reason being that my subjects were very low. So I was accepted by this school called Alaska High School in Chinoy. And then they told me, if we accept you, it means that you're going to write other subjects, the subjects that you failed. You'll be in A-level and at the same time writing your Form 4s. I said, okay. And I started to realize that I was way, way behind in everything. I came from a poor background, and there is limited exposure there. And when people are looking at people from the place that I grew up, they start looking at you as someone who doesn't have a future. You know, as human beings, we are very judgmental. We look at certain people and we conclude right away that this person doesn't have a future. And you know, my life has been a good example for myself and for other people out there that God can change someone's life in a blink of an eye. My life was turned around in a way that I myself did not understand. Because I failed grade 7, I failed Form 4. And then Form 6, I was now someone, I would say I was now an adult. I was thinking outside the box. I was involving God in everything that I was doing. And then I came out with 11 points. I was doing arts. I was doing history, divinity, and literature. I came out with an A. I was really happy and excited. And I was so grateful to God that, God, thank you for changing my life. Because all my life, I had never seen an A. And I saw it when I was in A level. It was mine. An A in history, it was mine. I had put so much effort in learning, in studying, and my mom couldn't even afford extra lessons. So I had to study by myself. And mind you, I was staying alone when I was in A level. When I asked my mom, you are spending so much money in transport fare, if it's possible, can you allow me to stay close to school? So I had to move from my parents, and I started staying alone when I was in Form 6. A lot of people, rumors start circulating saying he's gonna fail, he's going to cause a lot of trouble at school. You know how it is, when you stay in a community where everyone knows everybody. So like I said, people are always going to conclude your future for you. And if you're not clever enough, you start believing them like, I'm nothing. But at the end of the day, I'm so grateful to God that I never gave anyone an opportunity to put a full stop in my life and conclude and put a full stop and say, Biriot, you're nothing. I was that person. If you tell me that, Biriot, you're nothing and you can't do this, I would probably put more and much effort to accomplish what you are saying that I can't accomplish. So I was really happy when I came out with 11 points. And I wanted to move away so much from Chinhoyi, where I grew up, where everyone knows me as someone who has been a failure all his life and was lucky, like other people would say, to come out with 11 points. But for me, it was the grace of God that I was seeing in my life. You have to, if you can't, people are not going to believe in you. People are only going to believe in you when you succeed. But when you are this low, your parents are the ones that are going to believe in you. Your relatives are not going to believe in you. They're going to put a full stop and conclude and say, this one can't be anything in life. So I'm always going to say that my life has been used as an example. For other people would say whatever they want, but God has been using me as an example, a good example, that if you give your everything to Him, the Master Himself, He will always make a plan for you. And since I was in Form 3, there is this verse that I've been basing everything on. Jeremiah 33 verse 3, call unto me and I'll answer you, and I'll tell you great and unsearchable things that you do not know. I knew that there is a God, a powerful God, a master of all, and He determines the direction of everyone's life. I knew that I was way behind in school. And if I am to catch up, it means I have to put God first. It was me learning to put God first and learning life in general. Because when I was growing up, I was that person who was walking 10 kilometers to go to school and 10 kilometers to go back. Those who grew up in Chinhoyi, especially the area that I grew up, if you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. If you are walking from Citrus to Chaedza Primary School, that's like 10 kilometers just going, and another 10 coming back. Same when I was staying at this place, another small farm called White Laks, close to where I grew up. I stayed there probably 3 or 4 years when I was young. It was the same thing. It was the same thing. Life was not pleasant. I am that person who was carrying a lunch box full of sadza and grasshopper. Yes, we ate grasshopper when we were growing up. That was our food. Sadza and grasshopper. Sadza and milk. That was my lunchbox at school when I was very young. And I was happy when it was rainy season. There was tall grass. So I'll probably go and hide and eat my sadza. You get to a stage in life where you are probably happy to eat plain sadza as it is without any side dish because you just want a full stomach. That was me in primary school. And you get to see how different your life is from other people. But anyway, by the grace of God, I managed to pull through. So when I was in A level, I started telling myself, like, I'm not dumb. I'm bright. I can do this. I can catch up. And I started to find loopholes why I was doing so bad in school when I was in Form 4, Form 3, Grade 7 in primary school. I started to fix some of those things. And I did so well in A-level. I came out with 11 points, the results that I am so proud of even today. To others, it's not anything, but to me, that's a lot. That's a huge achievement. Like I said, I wanted to run away. I wanted to move away from Chinhoyi. I wanted to start a new life where no one knows me. That's what I did. I told my parents I want to go to university, but I don't want to do my university here in Chinhoyi. I want to do it in other places. And then the place of my choice was Zego University. And Zego University is in Bindura. I went there, and oh boy, that was my first time staying away from my parents like that much. I mean, we're talking about those long distances. Life for me was not easy as a university student. I've realized a lot of things when I was a university student. Parents, you are supposed to be very, very careful when your children are going to university. Because some of these kids, they're going to university just to have fun. They are doing a degree that they don't know. They're doing a degree that once you finish, you can't find a job in Zimbabwe. And they will only realize that later after finishing university. They are just picking these degrees for the sake of going to university, that others are going there. And, I want to talk about this university aspect. I don't think that it's much important, but I just want to mention it. Have you ever seen a white man's kid in Zimbabwean universities? And how many are there? You might see them in private schools here in Zimbabwe, high schools, primary schools, college. But have you ever seen them at university level here in Zimbabwe? I mean, they're there in private schools. They're there. But at university, have you ever seen them? This is my question. There's a reason. There are reasons. And I don't want to offend a lot of people by diving deep in that area. When you are that person who is hungry for exposure, you begin to see a lot of things. I went to university and I was doing social work and I loved it. I loved it, honestly. And I miss my classmates, loved them. And it was really fun and at the same time hard. And I reached a certain level in university where I wanted to have fun, but I can't because of where you come from. Sometimes you have to be grateful for where you come from because your background can determine how you behave when you get to certain places. I knew that I had to be serious because it's hard for my parents to find money for me to be where I am right now. So I can't afford to be messing around. I can't afford to not be serious. I was serious. And then my dad, when I was about to go to attachment, I think one semester away from attachment, that was during COVID, and we were home, we were learning, we were doing the whole semester at home. My dad told me that we can't keep on paying, we can't afford to pay your school fees, your tuition. It's hard for us. we can't. I tried everything, but we can't, Kelvin. If it's possible, you can defer and then come back home, and then we see what's the next step, and then after probably some months, then you go back and finish your degree. I knew that sooner or later that was going to happen, because at university I almost spent a week not going to school because I had no shoes. So I was waiting for my dad to get paid and then he would send me money and go and buy shoes. So I literally spent 5 days at home, where I was renting in Bindura. And then 5 days later, my dad sent me $25 and I had to go and buy shoes. And that's when I started to go to school. So all the 5 days, I had no shoe. My shoe was messed up. I was that person who had one shoe. And I believe that I'm not the only person that went through this at university level. Especially right now, things are still hard for a lot of people. And the reason why you guys are hearing my story, I have the platform to say it. Life was so hard that from 1 to 31, you'd be eating chunks. I knew all the recipes. I know how to cook machungs like very well. And I know all the recipes with Royco, with, baby, what's that flour? That flour that you can take and then put in your pot, that you can grow outside and then use it as a Royco. I don't know what they call it. No, like I'm not saying flour like flour. I'm saying like that rose that you can actually go outside and take. Yeah, I forgot the name too. And if you put that rose in your chunks, yeah, it's a herb. Thank you. It's a herb, and if you put that herb in your chunks, you'd probably think that you're eating chicken. So I knew all the recipes because I could not afford any other type of food. So it was sadza and chunks 1 to 31. That was my life. I had a dream of playing football at the highest level. But in Zimbabwe right now, I don't think that football pays at all. I wanted to go pro so bad, but the opportunities are so limited. Very limited. I love football even up to now. And I think in the future, I'm going to own a Zimbabwean football club. There is so much talent in Zimbabwe. So much. Yeah, so most of you guys, you've seen my videos. The way I started YouTube, it was for me to create an opportunity for myself so that people can see me out there that I am a football player. I still am a football player, but I just don't have the time to play football. Because if I start playing football today, I can't be able to feed my family. I have a family now. And yeah. So instead of going back, after I deferred from university, instead of going back to Chinhoyi, I did not go to Chinhoyi. Rather, people like Kundai Chitima helped me to start a new life in Harare. He was renting for me. He was buying me food. I was working with him. There was sort of like exchange of services. And I learned a lot from him because back then he was meeting a lot of people. Even up to now, Kundai Chitima is big. People don't know, but he's big. He was meeting a lot of people. He's one of the people, most of the celebrities that you see today, they came through the hands of Kundai Chitima and Zigo. But I regret one thing, that I did spend a lot of years creating wrong content. Yeah, that's one thing that I regret. I did spend a lot of years doing social commentary. I mean, that's nonsense content. Like, if you are out there and you're watching my video and you're a content creator and you are creating content on Zim celebrities, people, influencers who are always on each other's neck, creating that kind of content, honestly, that's garbage. And years from now, you realize that that's not the kind of content that you'd want to I mean, let's do an analysis. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, when you're doing social commentary, you're always excited when people fight on social media, and you take that content and you spread it again. You see, you are spreading wrong content, negative content, and that's the content that people are consuming. You see. So at the end of the day, you yourself as a content creator, you'll be benefiting revenue, and at the same time feeding people negative content. You see where I'm going with this? So when you start creating green content, you'll be feeding people positive content that they can learn from, content that they can download videos and watch them again because they want to learn. That's green content. People are benefiting, learning from your content, and you yourself, you'll be gaining revenue. So at the end of the day, you open so many doors for yourself. Social commentary create enemies. Even celebrities will start hating you. So those are the things that I've learned later on after 3-4 years of creating social commentary content. But so if you're a content creator and you're watching my video right now, I mean, I can teach you content creation. That's my number on your screen. Reach out to me and then I can teach you everything that I know, but for a certain fee. And then you know content creation. Time is important these days. To talk about my content journey, that's another day. Another thing that I want to talk about is diasporians. Diaspora has potential to change everything in Zimbabwe. Because one diasporian can come to Zimbabwe and change the lives of 200 people, one person, with the exposure that they've gained. Not financially, yes, they can come with their financial muscle and do good things here in Zimbabwe. But their mentality, how they think, how they've gained exposure, with that, if they can come with that and help people here in Zimbabwe, that would be so much great. Because if you are to look at this, those who have never left Zimbabwe, diasporians are coming back and they are doing farming, and they are going back to the rural areas, owning land there, like going back and investing back in the rural areas. Why? We have to ask ourselves, why is it that these people, they're coming back and they're venturing into farming? Like most of them, they're venturing into farming. They're giving everything for mining. They're giving everything to venture into education. So these people, they've realized that people eat every day. They're venturing into farming. These people, they realize that people want to learn. People want to send their kids to school. They are opening schools, private schools. Have you ever realized why is it that there are so many private schools these days? And school fees at that private school is above $300. If you ever, we're talking about if that private school can manage to have 300 students and each student is paying $300. Those are the things that I've seen with my eyes that are being done with people who have come back from diaspora, and they manage in 2 years. If you give a person who is from the diaspora 2 years to do wonders in Zimbabwe, they'll do it. They'll do it. And I know other people say, they've gone out there and they came back with their financial muscle. That is why they're capable of doing this. these things here in Zimbabwe? Yes and no at the same time. You see, start a business with what you have. I know other people say that starting a business with what you have in Zimbabwe doesn't apply. We have no choice. You are in Zimbabwe and you are staying here. And some of us, we're trying to change things that we can't even change. So rather, why not focus on things that you can change? People, what I've noticed is someone who interviews entrepreneurs, successful people each and every day. Some of the things that they say off camera is true. They'll tell you that, period, if you shut your mouth today and stop complaining and start working a little bit hard on things that you can change, bit by bit, you can succeed. You can succeed. We are sort of like waiting for a savior. Our ideas have become more theoretical rather than practical as Zimbabweans. Most of you guys have been trying to change certain things for years now. And if you are to look at you yourself, you are growing up. You are now 30 and you have been complaining since you were 22, 23. 7 years down the line, you have done nothing. You have not even saved $100. And you now have a wife and kids are now looking at you. So, if you can never be that person who comments on a video and say, these guys, they've managed to go outside and come back with a financial muscle. If you think that the grass is greener on the other side, go and take your passport and leave also, so that other people can comment that you are praising him, period. This guy went out there and came back with a financial muscle. We are way behind in terms of everything as Zimbabweans. Even our mentality is messed up. And probably people are going to come after me for this. They're going to attack me in the comment section below. But I don't mind. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. What shocked me, even Raw Organic Farm talked about this. And I'm going to talk about it too. Our mentality in Zimbabwe is messed up. I've worked with the diasporians. And the one thing that they are afraid of is scammers. Relatives. Like, your relatives can scam you. Your own people can scam you. And we have become scammers. Everyone is now a scammer. Everyone now knows every job. People are now liars. If you ask them, are you a builder? They will say yes. Everyone is now connected to anyone who knows anything. They might probably be not a builder themselves, but they know someone who knows someone who is a builder. That way, everything is now messed up. To really find someone who is capable of doing a proper job in Zimbabwe, who is very reputable, even in building, if you find that person, you must get on your knees and praise God, because it's not easy. It's hard. I've seen diasporians who have invested a lot of money, kneel down, crying. I've invested a lot of money. Some of them, your own people, Zimbabweans, your own people are now spitting down like this. I'll never go back to Zimbabwe because of relatives, because of your own people. I was shocked that when Odemaya came to Zimbabwe, and he spoke positively about our nation as Zimbabwe, that Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. People started affiliating him to a political organization here in Zimbabwe that is now working for the government of Zimbabwe. That is why he's speaking positively about Zimbabwe. And oh my God, people attacked him from every angle in Zimbabwe. For me, I know Wodemaya personally. I've spoken with him and I've learned a lot from him in terms of content creation. By that time, I could tell that this man is going through a lot by being attacked by Zimbabweans, by just mentioning Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. And then came these guys from Top Gear from America. Is it last year? They said the same thing when they were touring around Zimbabwe. They said the same thing. And when they said the same thing, Zimbabweans were like, oh my God. Yes, Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. And yet your own fellow African said the same thing and you attacked them. And then came a man from America, said the same thing, and you praised them for it. That's how messed up we are as Zimbabweans. So our mentality needs to change. When I was talking to him, he gave me $2,000 US. I started to realize that the kind of content that I'm creating is valuable. And it took a millionaire for me to realize that. It took a millionaire to wake me up and say, kid, what you have right here, what you are doing right here, that's valuable. When I went to see him, I went there as a content creator who had 100,000 subscribers. And I was sort of like boasting, like, I have 100,000 subscribers. And I did not know that he's a millionaire. When I was having a conversation with him, that's when I started to realize, I'm not talking to a regular person here. And I always see him in my WhatsApp group contributing. He's really investing a lot in learning farming. And probably, people in my group don't even know that we have a millionaire in my group, and he's there busy learning and investing. So I was also doing my own analysis. If someone like that is investing so much in knowledge and also in his farm, on his farm, you have your $500 US, you have bought your animals and you barely invest in knowledge. One thing that this man have managed to realize is that, yes, I now have this farm. I have to invest in knowledge. And he is always doing that. He is always doing that. So guys, thank you so much for watching this far. And I'll be posting content like this where I'm sitting down on my other YouTube channel called Men from Africa. So the link of that YouTube channel is in the comment section below. I've pinned it. If you want to see content like this, you probably have to go and subscribe. And for those who want to buy my course in farming and in content creation, you choose. Do you want the course in farming or the course in content creation? You choose between the two. And it's only $30. It's only $30. And those who are doing agriculture, this course that I'm talking about is different and it's unique, and you're probably going to learn a lot because it's not just about cattle farming. I've combined all of it. It's cattle farming, goat farming, and poultry. So these three in the course, they'll be there. So it's a must. If you want to really to be serious in farming, that course is for you. Get in touch. If you want to create content, there is a course for you also. Get in touch.